Righty-ho. So, as the title says, Department of Works and Pensions here in the United Kingdom, and its failings as well, because there are changes which are going to happen. Those changes are basically where they are going to monitor every single person who is on benefits through their bank account. And it's a bit like Big Brother, watching where you spend your pocket money. So my story with Universal Credit began back up in Newcastle upon Tyne. What they failed to mention at the time was this. I went in there in the offices on the West Road, and I took in the what used to be called a sick note from the doctor for right shoulder injury, Rotary Cuff. And what they failed to tell me was that when you're on the sick, you basically, your employer, whoever that may be, has to take your sick note. My employer refused, point blank, refused. And so began the battle to get things done. And that battle continued, and there was no help from my union because of the medication I was on at the time. Medication was very strong. Used to zone me out. So the office on the West Road, which is now student accommodation, totally let me down. And since it has let me down again, because they have stopped my universal credit. And the reason why they have stopped my universal credit is because I took a lump sum from the pension. So they deemed that to be employment. There wasn't anything to do with employment. Anyway, that was from last month. We are now on the 11th day of a brand new month, and the Universal Credit, the Job Centre, are dragging their heels, bouncing my information between one person to the next person to the next person. Same thing that they did with the housing benefit. And I've mentioned in the description a minister. That minister is for the Department of Works and Pensions, which Universal Credit is part of. And the reason why I've mentioned him is because he is in a position of power. So I've got to the point now where I've just had enough of what's going on. It's stupidity, really. You see, I have said to Universal Credit about this YouTube channel where you get past the 1,000 subscribers, which I'm a long way from, but 4,000 hours watched, and they place adverts into your videos, and you can earn money from that. So Universal Credit know about that. Universal Credit also know about the TikTok shop. They also are aware of the ERC20 token and the BEP20 as well. So I have not kept anything back. They know the full 9 yards. But they have deemed it that the benefit, stop it, because you're working. Well, when you're working, you receive a pay packet, and that pay packet tells you how much tax you paid, etc. So there you go. Now, yesterday, I had my brother over, and he was talking about you need to come off. Well, the whole intention of the things I've just spoke about, that is to come off, to sign off Universal Credit. Now, the changes which I mentioned in the title, those changes are they're going to scrutinize every single person, where you are spending your money. And they're going to do this with everybody. So it's going to be a blanket effect. And I think that's wrong, because that's like spy cameras watching over every single thing that you do. Now, felt I had to do this video because at the end of the day, from the end of last month, it is now coming up to 2 weeks. And a decision by a decision maker, they are dragging their feet. And while they drag their feet, there is nothing to pay things with. That's just the honest truth. There's nothing to pay things with. And as we all know, cars do not come free of charge. They don't come hand gifted to you. You've got to buy them. And when I purchased this car, there was the insurance, there was the tax, there was fuel, etc., which ate into the money that came from the pension payout. Now, you can only be so far straight with these people, and they just want to stretch it a little bit, and had enough of that. So that's why I'm doing this. Now, one thing I am hoping for is I'm going to be ringing the FCA down in London Monday and saying to them, you help me get through the registration process, and that's what I want, through that process, so that I can speak to you on YouTube and elsewhere. The one place I cannot post at the moment is LinkedIn, because of a Tiffany Fong video on SBF and his trial. So they deemed that I'm not going to be able to post there, but post everywhere else. So at the moment, it looks as though people who are on benefits, they are going to be looked at where they're spending the money. Now, most people who are on universal credit struggle. They struggle because of the cost of living crisis and energy and gas bills going that way and not coming down. So the amount of help which is available is like a flat line. But hopefully the FCA down in London will give me the go-ahead to do what I want. And then once that happens, I believe in the next 6 to 8 weeks, the ETF I mentioned in my other video will go live. That means basically that cryptocurrency eventually will overtake the FTSE 100, the Dow Jones Industrial 500 in America, the Nasdaq. It'll just wipe the floor with them, and I see that coming. But this video is a long way from that because I need to sort the registration out first. But we'll see what happens, and I will share this live to different places with the MP and minister linked to it, in the hope maybe my MP will nip along the office of power, knock on their door and turn around and say, this needs to be fixed. Okay. Anyway, to who I was in chat, let's have a look. Well, Fanta Fruit Twist. No, it's the bank is alerting the DWP. If you're on universal credit, unless you win a lot of money or something along that line of to get up to 16,000, there's not much chance of that. UC is for people who have no other form of money. If they bring out a pension or whatever, they have released money, they believe it should be used to live on. Well, I stated in the journal entry, it was, I need treatment from QMC, which is one of the main hospitals in Nottingham for the back and for the spine. So that is why I've gone and got the car, so I can get to hospital and receive treatment and then move forward. Hi Paul, where do you get all those brilliant video ideas from? Well, here. That's where. How else are you going to ensure people aren't ripping off the taxpayer? Well, the thing is, right, here in the United Kingdom, if you work, you pay tax. Simple. Cash is king. Buy your magic hair restorer with cash. It was paid with cash. Right. I usually just steal a car and buy new plates. Well, be a vegan. I came across ringers 30 years ago, and I don't believe they're still doing that because it's serious prison time. Anyway, I thought I'd come on to do this because these things which they're looking at, I believe, are wrong. But thank you all for making a comment, and I'll see you all round about 10:30 ish tonight.